all you seeds and stems. This is Raina, and this is I Like It Hard, where I talk about all things tangible. I make lists of physical items that I actually own, and I review things, and I talk about other things, and it's all sorts of stuff going on here. So if this is your first time, welcome. If you're revisiting, hello again. Thank you for watching. I'm just going to get into it. I don't want this to be a really long video, but I wanted to share some spooky music with you guys, some stuff that I love. And I'm only picked 10, and I'm not repeating anything that I've touched on before. This is all new stuff that I've never mentioned on this channel before. So this is in no way everything that I love to listen to that's spooky. It's just the stuff that I physically own. There's a lot of stuff I can talk about that I just own digitally, but these are the physical items that I have in my house that get played every October. So let's start. First, but in no particular order, really, is the Return of the Living Dead soundtrack. This soundtrack is a classic. Anyone who has seen this film knows what an important part the music is in it. It's not necessarily the score. There's I think Trash's theme is on here, and there's just a lot of really great songs on here. You got the Cramps, you got the Flesh Eaters, you get the Jet Black Berries. There's a lot of stuff on here that you would not be remiss to put on for a Halloween party. It rocks. It's high energy. You're gonna dance if you put this on. Okay, so this is not a hard album to find, and I really do feel like it should. If you like this kind of music at all, like kind of like punky horror stuff, you really should own this already. Anyway, moving on. One of my personal favorites, which I don't think gets enough attention at all, is the score for Warlock by Jerry Goldsmith. It's not highly available anymore, but I believe you can still stream it. It's very creepy. It was kind of like the end of Jerry Goldsmith's more synthy, the more synthy part of his career, and but he mixes it really well with kind of orchestral music. There's a lot of character here. This I believe Entrada put this out, and it just it's a really fun score. It's very kind of drippy. Cassandra, she's my favorite, but we'll talk about that another time. I don't know. I loved this movie growing up so much, and this score just brings me to like that place. It brings me to that October place. But yeah, so Warlock by Jerry Goldsmith is a particularly wonderfully creepy score. There's no songs per se, like with bands and lyrics, and there's no contemporary music on there, but as a score, it's gorgeous. Now, speaking of contemporary music, and like traditional songs, there's Elvira's Haunted Hits, and I know like these compilations, like, oh, how good can it be? This is probably one of the better Halloween compilations I've ever encountered. It really has everything on here. If you don't have this music already, or if you want to slap something on real quick, you cannot go wrong. You have it's like everything. I could read you a few. You got the Monster Mash, and you got the Ghostbusters theme. You have Purple People Eater, and Alice Cooper, and Dead Man's Party, and Halloween Spooks. I Put a Spell on You. It's just, it goes. It's 17 tracks, which when this came out, that was a lot for a CD back then. They didn't used to go to the full track length, So I appreciate what they were doing here. Really good. From Rhino. Rhino was a really good company back in the day. I am ashamed to say I'm not sure they're still around. I think they are. I don't think I've gotten anything from them in a while. But anyway, Elvira's Haunted Hits. If you can find this, pick it up. It's really worth it. Next up, The Barn. Okay, let me take this inlay out because it's happening again with the glare. And I want you to be able to see the art. The Barn. This is, I believe, Rocky Gray. Rocky Gray created this amazing score to this film called The Barn. I bought this score before I'd ever seen the film. There's just something about it. I was at a convention and I met the director and the DP, And I was just like, wow, this looks like a lot of fun. And they kind of explained it to me that it was very synthy and very 80s. And it's really good. It's a really good, spooky, very specifically Halloweeny feeling album. You really can't go wrong with this. I got the double disc set back in the day. I don't know if this was like 3 years ago. I don't know if it's still available, but if it is, definitely check it out. This is a really, really good soundtrack for this time of year. It's got a little bit of everything for you in there. But so moving on, yeah, go get that. Go get the Barn if you can. Support those guys. They're really good guys, and they're really creative, and they're totally independent, and I love them and the stuff that they do. Here's one that does not get enough attention. Jay Barnes Luckett, who is basically a horror film music composer. This is not just May, but I think the reason why I listen to it this time of year is more for May. But this soundtrack, which again I don't know if it's still available, but if you can find it, it's got her scores from May. It's got her score from her episode of Masters of Horror. It's got her score from that movie Roman that Angela Battis, who plays May, actually directed, and an unused score from Lucky Beaky's The Woods. May, though, there's all this like it's very chorale kind of theme. I love that main kind of theme to this film, and I'm so glad I bought this when I did. I think it was a limited edition, and hopefully the music's still out there. But look it up if you can find it. The May score by Jay Barnes Luckett, really, really, really good for Halloween. I remember I used to throw a Halloween party for every year for 20 years, and this would always be in the mix. And people are like, what is this music? It's so creepy. What is it? And I'm like, oh, well, wouldn't you like to know? Anyway, so yeah, Jay Barnes Luckett, May, yummy. So, I don't love all of Rob Zombie's movies, and but I grew up in the as a teenager in the 90s, and so it was hard to kind of avoid being exposed to White Zombie and all that and appreciating it then. I have to say though, out of everything he's produced, whether it be movies or music, my favorite piece of work for Rob Zombie is actually the House of Thousand Corpses soundtrack. This is a fantastic piece of work for this time of year, or any time of year, obviously. We spooky creatures who like this kind of thing all year long, these things would be appropriate no matter what time of the year it is, but specifically for people watching who kind of just partake in this stuff during October. House of Thousand Corpses, the soundtrack, there's so many great songs on here, and the bits of score that he produced for the film are really good. Specifically, there's one called The Pit, which is just like really good, really, really tasty. You got some fun clips from the movie too, some audio clips, very reminiscent of like the Natural Born Killers soundtrack that Trent Reznor produced back in the 90s. Really, really love this. Put this on probably more than any of the movies, but moving on. Now this one is probably the most obscure thing here, and I'm gonna say that because this was a fluke for me. It's hold on, let me take this out. It's called Fright Night, but it's not Fright Night, the movie. It's this is a really great collection of very specifically macabre and horror themed classical symphonies, classical music. It's a great collection. It's got 12 songs. It's got stuff like the Mephisto Waltz and Night in Bald Mountain and Saint Cian's Danse Macabre, and it's a fantastic collection. You cannot go wrong with this. It's just creepy, and it's like classically creepy. This is one of my favorite things to put on this time of year. If you like classical music, or if you don't really know classical music and you want to hear some spooky stuff, search this out. I don't know if it's available on streaming, but I can't imagine something like this would be too much money to order online. It was put up by CBS in 1989, so good luck. Only got a few more here, but now I'm getting down to the vinyl, and this is definitely a good one. It's a recent reissue, Trick or Treat by this was one of my favorite releases It was purchased for me as a surprise by my ex, and he picked this up, and I was so excited. It's by Douglas Pipes, who did the music for Krampus. It's a really gorgeous, super fancy release. It's a double vinyl. If you're interested in such things, look at this. It's so fun. Another really great collection of music to put on for Halloween. This is a really beautiful collectible, and I'm really happy that I own this, and thank you out there. Yeah, this is available on disc. It's available to stream, but specifically if you're into owning things, get the vinyl if you can, if it's still around. I don't know if it's still around, but it was a few years ago, and you should do it because it's gorgeous. This one, Special Silver Magic, The Witch. Okay, The Witch, yeah. Mark Corvin, who actually, by some strange bit of serendipity, did the score to my favorite film, which has never been released. Well, the film's been released, but the score has never been released. So Mark Corvin, I doubt if you'll ever see this, but I would love to own a copy of the very plunky score to I've Heard the Mermaid Singing. Just saying. Just putting it out there into the universe. This score is just dreadful. It's the very definition of the word. It's just dreadful. It's full. It's like murky, and I feel this evokes like like after the Halloween party's over and everything's really quiet and nasty. It's cold and unfriendly, and just if you really want to creep yourself out, put this on and read some like Clive Barker or some really dark like Joyce Carol Oates or something. Yeah, really extra dark I felt with this. Even if you don't like the film, this music is, oof, yeah. I can't say it's good, but it's not the kind of thing you want to put on for a party. But it's definitely one of the creepiest, effectively, scary pieces of music in this pile. And last, but certainly not least, is the Tales from the Crypt score, which I picked up at the store for an unbelievably low price. And you know what? I haven't even opened it yet because that's what this is for. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm trying to sneak in a few unboxings here and there. Here we go. Come on. I got to keep this a little sharper. But yeah, haven't even listened to this. Oh no, that's not true. I listened to some of it digitally and I liked it, and I was like, yeah, I like it enough to put it on here. It's just selections from the score from the TV show. This right now still, I think online is really cheap. You can get it for not a lot of money. Let's see what's inside. Let's go on this journey together. Ooh, what do we got? What do we got? We have some blood-spattered liner notes, a picture of the Crypt Keeper with some floating covers around his head, and so that's great. Look at that. Oh, you know what this is? It's a cover for each one of the tracks. That's pretty cool. I appreciate that. I definitely appreciate that. And for the dorks in us, we got an orange vinyl because thank you very much. So that's my list. I tried to keep it short, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope that if you go and search some of this music out and you want to maybe use it for your celebrations. I know that celebrations this year are probably going to be pretty minute. But, that doesn't mean that you can't sit in the dark and creep yourself out with some of this music, which I hope you do. And I hope you guys have a great holiday. And, go listen to some creepy junk, because Isn't that what October is all about? Anyway, it's been great. I will see you soon. I have a few more videos for this week. I really wanted to kind of celebrate on here since there's not that much going on because of like the world's ending and stuff like that, kind of sort of, if you want to put it that way. But have a happy and safe holiday if this is the only video you watch from me, and if not, I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.